Okay, so for this one, I am talking about slope. Remember, slope is the same thing as rise over run, or change in x over change in y. This is the actual slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And the only condition for this is that our denominator cannot be 0. x1, y1 is our first point, x2, y2 is our second point. So we have 4 different kinds of slopes. I have a positive slope if it goes up towards the right. I have a negative slope if it goes down towards the right. 0 slope if it's straight across, and undefined if it's straight up and down. So if I want to find the slope of a line that passes through the points x, 1, -1, and 7, 2, I'm going to label this x1, y1, x2, y2. Then I will go ahead and plug them into the formula. So I'm going to have m equals 2, because that's my y2, minus -1 over 7 minus 1. That gives me a double negative on the top, makes a positive, and 7 minus 1 on the bottom gives me 6. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 divided by 6 is 1/2. Okay. On number 2, same thing. So this is going to be my x1, y1, x2, y2. Then I want to subtract, so I'm going to have, or plug into the formula, so I'm going to have 8 minus 5 over 6 minus -4, which is going to give me 3 on the top, 6 plus 4 on the bottom. I'm going to have 3 on the top and 10 on the bottom. Okay, number 3, same thing. Plug in. I get -4 on the top, -9 on the bottom. 2 negatives make a positive. Okay. Same thing for number 4, x1, y1, x2, y2. I get -4 plus 8 on the top, -6 on the bottom. -4 plus 8 is 4. This simplifies to -2/3. Okay, same thing, plugging in. I get -2 minus 4 over -3 minus 3 minus -3. Let me do that. My whiteout is missing. Sorry. So on the top, that gets me -6. On the bottom, I have -3 plus 3. I have 0 on the bottom. That can't happen. So my slope is undefined. Okay. Same thing for number 6, plugging in. So I get 5 plus 2 on the top and 0 on the bottom. Can't have 0 on the bottom, so this one is also undefined. Same thing for number 7. Plug in. On the top, I get 0. On the bottom, I get -6. This is okay. So then my answer just simplifies to 0. Okay. Over here, it wants me to find the slope of a line that passes through the points 1, 6, and 7, 6. So I'm going to do the same thing. I get 0 on the top, -8 on the bottom, which just gives me 0. If two lines have the same slope, they're said to be parallel. If they have opposite reciprocal slopes, so I have opposite sides, and one is a fraction of the other, they are said to be perpendicular. And one thing I want to point out here, 0 and undefined slopes are perpendicular. Perpendicular. Remember, perpendicular means has a 90-degree angle. So number 9 wants me, given that something has a slope of -5, it wants me to find something that's parallel. Parallel is just -5, it's the same. Okay, B wants it perpendicular, so that's the one where I plug into this. So I'm going to have -1 over, and then I plug in my slope, -5, which just simplifies to 1/5. Over here, it tells me the slope of a line is -4/3, so parallel is the same, -4/3. The other one is I flip the slope and I change the sign, so it becomes positive, and then 3 and 4 switch places to turn into 3/4. Okay. Number 11 gives me two different lines, and it wants me to determine if they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So what I want to do is I want to find my slopes first. So I'm going to do L1 over here. I'm going to call this M1 for my slope. So it'll be x1, y1, x2, y2. So I have 1 minus -3 over 4 minus 2. Then I want to simplify, so I have 1 plus 3 on the top. 4 minus 2 is 2 on the bottom. That gives me 4 on top, 2 still on the bottom. M1 is 2. Then I'm going to do the same thing for L2. I'm going to do this in a different color to make it clear that I'm not labeling the same points, x1, y1, x2, y2. So for L2 is red. My slope is going to be called M2. Then I'm going to have -3. Nope, that's not my y2. I'm going to have -2 minus 5 over -3 minus -6. And then I want to go ahead and simplify that. So I get -7 over -3 plus 6. Then I want to add -3 plus 6, which gives me 3. These are not even close to being the same, so these are going to be neither. Same thing for number 12. So I'm going to do L1 in blue. And I'm going to label my slope M1. I have 6 minus negative 1 over negative 3 minus 4. On the top, I'm going to have 6 plus 1. On the bottom, I have negative 7. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 over negative 7 gives me negative 1. And I'm going to go do the same thing for L2. I'm going to label x1, y1, x2, y2. And I have my m1. So then I get 0 minus 3 over 2 minus 1, which gets 2 minus negative 1, which gets me negative 3 on the top, and 2 plus 1 on the bottom. 2 plus 1 is 3. Negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1. These are the same, so they are perpendicular.